What do you think is the most important skill? Explain. Why do you think so? Include details and examples to support your explanation. I think that the most important skill people should possess today is to know way around with a computer. The computer is an important part of human life today. It is necessary for easy communication and learning. It is also an important source of information, especially in countries where government is censoring information. Secondly, when it comes to my profession, which is mechanical engineering, it is impossible to be a good engineer without using the computer. The computer is necessary today for doing all kinds of calculations, drawings, modeling, simulations, and presentations. Those are a few reasons why I think that computer skills are necessary in today's world. Imagine that you have an ability to solve any problem in the world. Describe which problem you would choose to solve, and explain how would you solve it. Include details and examples. One of the biggest problems in today's world is pollution. Biggest culprits for pollution are fossil fuels. If I can solve any problem in the world, I will abandon the use of fossil fuels. First of all, I would subsidize use of renewable energy and building of nuclear power plants. Renewables alone aren't going to cover it, and nuclear power plants do not produce greenhouse gases while they are producing electrical energy. Eventually, after a decade or two, all coal power plants will be shut down. Secondly, I would enforce big taxes on gasoline and gasoline-powered passenger cars. On the other side, I would give big subsidies for electric cars. Eventually, people will stop buying gasoline cars. Pollution is one of the problems that I would choose to solve, and aforementioned ways is how I would do it. What is your favorite place to visit on weekends? Describe it and explain why it is your favorite place to go. I live in the city of Niš, in the Republic of Serbia. My favorite place to visit on weekends, especially on the Saturdays mornings, is Kasančisko Sokače. That is the main Bohemian street in Niš. Many restaurants and cafes are located there. I like to sit there outside of some cafe or a restaurant and have a coffee or a drink. Furthermore, on Saturdays mornings, the downtown of Niš is crowded with people, and many people pass through that street. Accordingly, I can see many of my friends and invite them on a drink or a few so we can reminisce. Because of those reasons, I like to visit Kasančisko Sokače on the Saturdays mornings. Talk about an important national holiday in your home country. Describe it and explain why it is important. I live in the Republic of Serbia. One of the important national holidays in my home country is the May Day. That is the celebration of the International Workers' Day. This holiday became very important in former Yugoslavia, and still is in today's banana republics of ex-Yugoslavia. At this day, people get up early in the morning before sunrise, pack their things, and go together with their families to a national park or at a river bank or some other place in nature to have a picnic. That is a day of celebration and socializing. Although there is no more socialism in countries of ex-Yugoslavia, people still appreciate this holiday and the mentioned custom. Today may be more than ever before, because many people today are working more than 8 hours a day, but they usually do not receive salary for months, sometimes for years, and of course have trouble to make ends meet. Many of them do not have money to buy food for that picnic, despite the fact that they now live in a capitalist society. And they also have workers' rights from the feudal world. That's why I think this is the most important holiday in my country. What is your favorite movie? Describe it and say why it is your favorite. One of my favorite movies is a British surreal comedy film, The Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Also, according to many surveys, this movie is voted to be the greatest comedy movie of all times. The movie parodies the legend of King Arthur's quest to find the Holy Grail. It is full with well-known Monty Python's style of humor, which is utterly hilarious but also sometimes downright confusing. I also like this movie because it is full with memorable Monty Python's quotes, well known among geeks. Some of these quotes can be very useful in everyday life. Those are a few reasons why that movie is my favorite. Talk about an experience in your life that made you feel embarrassed. Describe it and say why it was embarrassing. One experience in my life that made me feel embarrassed happened when I was a freshman at Mechanical Engineering Studies at the University of Niš in Serbia. A teaching assistant in the physics class was doing some assignments on the blackboard. For one assignment, she asked if anybody wants to try to solve it. I raised my hand, went to the blackboard, and I froze. I have realized that I've mistaken the problem for a similar but quite different problem. I got dumbstruck. I couldn't think straight any further. Thankfully, the assistant stepped in and clarified some things to me. I got my head straight and I was able to continue on my own. So that is one of my embarrassing experiences during my studies. Think of a place that makes you feel relaxed and peaceful. Describe it and explain why it is relaxing and peaceful to you. I live in the city of Niš, in the southeastern Serbia. One of the places that makes me feel relaxed and peaceful is one of a few parks in my city. This park is located at Lenin's Boulevard. First of all, the neighborhood where that park is located is highly urbanized, but at the same time it is also very quiet. So no noise pollution at that park is minimal. So I often like to take a stroll in that park. Secondly, there are many coffee houses and cafes around the perimeter of that park. I often like to sit at one of those coffee houses and have a coffee and reduce my mind's focus on everyday life's difficulties. That is why I feel relaxed at that park.